Today on Gamers Couch,
Bunny Kingdom.
Hello.
Hello.
Sunday.
Bunny Sunday?
Bunny Sunday.
No. DMCA claims will get us and...
I'm singing so bad, they will never catch me. I'm so out of tune. I'm safe. Welcome to the couch, folks. It's time to talk Bunny Kingdom and make horrible bunny jokes. We practiced quite a lot
beyond what the game is already doing.
Yes, we have to come up with our own. I'm looking forward to hear what you came up with. So far, I was only mildly impressed with the things you...
Wait, you started the day with a
No,
pun,
I did the horrible
puns.
pun. I did the horrible pun. I did the one where you say, no.
Anyway.
We're talking board games here. We, at least me, you're looking way better and are way further on the I'm healthy again track. But I still have the con bug with me, so any nasal tones, coughing, yeah, I'm
Keeping...
is due to the con bug. But why do I always say it the wrong way around?
I don't know.
Because it sits in my brain.
I learned over the years not to say
Not to
something.
question anymore. Good boy. Anyway, so any hachu and any jump cuts because of that is due to coughing, and I'm sorry for that in advance. But in case you knew,
has totally nothing to do with us misspeaking or forgetting something.
We never do that.
True.
I don't remember ever doing that.
I see.
If you're new to the channel, or at least this format, let me tell you very quickly how this is going to go. We're going to take our time showing you the game, so don't expect anything in 5 sentences.
I forgot to bring the stop clock to take our time. Please continue.
We're going to talk rules and gameplay first, showing you a few turns, and as a heads up, we're talking about the 3 and 4 player game, but since we don't have multiple personality disorder, we are actually playing the 2 player version here, but he's going to explain all the differences. Then we're going to talk about what we liked or not liked about this game, have a thumb rating, and then we talk funny stories and experiences. And at the end, because it's one of the weeks, I'm going to tease the next painting for Draw for Initiative. It's a season finale, and it's time to guess games. So don't use up all your brain power while you talk about the game. Keep a little bit for the guessing in the end. And now, finally, we start rules and gameplay.
Okay. So, Bunny Kingdom is a brutal murder simulator that involves furries and other strange fetishes that, if you're into carrots. Well, while that sounds funny, actually, I'd say if you see Bunny Kingdom for the very first time, you might say, oh, this is a really cute game. It comes with little bunnies, and it's nice, and it's like a little kid's game. And it is not. It is so not. It's a very, very dangerous game to play with other people. So at the core, this is a game that has a card drafting, and that card drafting powers an area control game where up to 4 players fight against each other for control over the Bunny Kingdom. The entire game goes over 4 rounds, and each round is very simply, you have a drafting phase where everybody starts out with 10 cards. And here we talk about the 3 and 4 player version. You would pick 2 of those 10 cards, play them, and give the other 8 to the player on your left, and respectively on your right on odd and even turns. And after everybody has drafted and played their cards, there's something called a construction phase, which will make more sense once I tell you what the cards are. and then you repeat. You score and then you repeat. And at the end, he who has the most gold carrot points wins the game. So...
It's not always a male bunny. What if a girl wins?
It is.
No.
It is.
No.
So, when I say cards, we have these cards, and I guess
Go to the big camera.
We are on top. We first of all we have this board which has coordinates from A to J and 1 to 10, which correspond with the cards we're getting. So at its simplest, you would pick a card, let's say H9, and if that is one of the cards you're playing, then you would pick one of your bunnies and place it on H9, and so it goes on. The really nice part already, I can tell you so much about the game, is that these cards, each location is only once in the entire deck of cards, which is substantially large. And the card itself already tells you what will be on the area that you can go for, so you don't necessarily need to have to look at the board. So H9 is boring because there's nothing on it, but for example, I could have played B10. B10 also seems empty, but has a fish resource on it, which is indicated up here. Similar, F7 here has a little carrot on top. G9, however, is over here, that has a city on it. And cities, as well as resources, are important for scoring points. Which brings us to scoring points, so you can put this into reference. So let's say I've played a couple of cards and acquired E8 and maybe F9, and let's say, just for completeness sake, F8 and G9, as well as, let's put these two down here. These two. Okay, so scoring in this game goes by having thieves that consist of, adjacent bunnies that form a full thief. So in this case, these count as two individual ones because diagonals are not considered adjacent. So these two are one and these four are one. And for each thief, you count the amount of different resources. So in this one, it would be 2 because we have a carrot and a wood, and multiply that with the strength of the thief, which is the amount of towers that are present. So in this case, this thief would be worth 1, 2, multiplied by 1, 2, so 4 points in total. This one down here only has 1 resource and 1 tower and is, technically only worth 1 point. What you want to do in this game is obviously increase that. So if I would be able to place another bunny over here, this entire, this would now be 1 full thief, still only 2 resources because the carrots don't count twice, but now there's 3 towers, so this entire endeavor here is now worth 6 points instead of just 4 for the bigger one.
For the smaller one.
For the bigger one of the 2.
Oh, got it.
So that is what you're trying to do. There are some other cards in the game, apart from you just place a bunny there, which are played actually after the actual drafting phase, which are construction cards. So these look like that, and they either allow you to add additional cities onto a space if you already have a bunny there and control that. There's level 1, level 2, and even level 3 cities with that appropriate amount of towers. There's also special resources, so you'll see there's 3 base resources that are already on the board, which is a wood, fish, and carrots. This one would add a pearl to one space, and these are indicated by these little tokens that can be placed on here. However, if you take a closer look, the pearl says this can only be placed on a space with water, so I can place this only on a space that I'm controlling with a bunny, and that would add now another resource to this thing. Obviously, I want to combine that with whatever else I have. On the other hand, another example would be this 3-tower city, which can only be placed on a mountain space, which also limits the places where you can do that. However, it is worth to point out that when you play these cards in the drafting phase, you put them in front of you, put the thing on it, like the city, or in this case the pearl resource, and it stays there, and you can put it down in the construction phase that happens after that drafting phase, but you don't have to. So you can actually stock up a little bit on stuff and wait for a later round to have a more opportune placement to put stuff anywhere. Or sometimes you might not even have a bunny where you cannot play, where you can place something, because you are not allowed to place multiple things on the same space. And with that, I mean, even if I had if I have a city on this water space, and yes, that is ridiculous as it is, I cannot add in addition to that a pearl, because there's already a city thing on there.
It's one of those floating cities like you have in a pool or something, those mega huge plastic things, and the bunny's swimming.
There's also some other, kind of special cards, which, for example, the camp, which is also one of these tiles, which allows you to claim a space that you don't have a card for, which is nice sometimes to bridge between thieves and connect them together. However, if another player comes up with the card that is actually like the original claim to that space, they will throw you out and place their bunny over there. Or something like provisions, which says immediately draw and play 2 cards from the big stack, which is kind of draw of the luck, but that's how it goes. And last but not least, there are parchment cards, which are these, and they are typically point multipliers for the end of the game, or treasures, which are worth points themselves, and some have conditions. So, for example, Woodland King says you get 20 points if you have at least 7 wood spaces, and that counts spaces you claim here, or additional spaces or additional wood pieces you might be able to place using your construction cards. Whereas treasures typically give you just a straight amount of points. So in this case, the left glove is worth 1 point, or 4 if you also have the right glove. You can distinct between treasures and the regular parchments by the symbol up here. And there are some other treasures or parchments in here that say you will get a point for each treasure you have, and so on. That is actually the entire game. So you have the scoreboard here. So after one round of drafting construction, you just see how much points your thieves are worth, and then you continue doing the next 2, 3, 4 rounds. And at the end, you'll see, after revealing all your parchment, who has won the game. Now, the 2-player game has a little different version to that. In case of you also have your 10 cards to draft from. So these will be my 10 cards on hand that I'm starting with, and I'm holding them into the camera so you have a chance to see them. And I should have ordered them first so that you... whatever. So as you can see, I have a couple of these coordinate cards. I have a parchment, which in this case is a treasure worth 2 points. So I'm not too hot on that on my first turn. What I probably want to do is figure out some cards that are close together and get started with there. So instead of picking 2 cards to play, the first thing you do here is you have another stack called the reserve and draw 1 additional card on hand. And now looking at my card, I see that I have, there's a lot of cards in here that play around this upper quarter of the board, which might be the space where I want to go for. So here's what I'm going to do. I will decide to play the B3 card, so unbeknownst to Sarah, I will place that. Because
I'm not listening.
I will place that face down, and instead of picking a second card in the 2-player game, you pick a second card and discard it. So I'd say, well, I'm not particularly fond of this code anyways, and I don't want to give her a chance to get a treasure and hog that. So I'll discard.
Because I never do that.
Then we give the card stack to the next player, and again, in a 3 or 4 player game, you would just rotate around clockwise and counterclockwise depending on which round you're playing. And after that, everybody reveals their 1 or 2 cards, in our case 1 card, and since I revealed B3, I will just take my bunny and place it on B3.
And I have provisions, and I'm gonna draw 2 cards and play them. May the heart of cards be with... Ooh, hoo, hoo.
So you have A5 and A7. Oh, that's not too shabby. Unfortunately, Sarah's arms are too short for... She might be overreaching.
So bad.
As the Germans say, short arms, no cookies.
And it is actually kurze Arme, keine Kekse.
Which is also true. So, however, the card you've played, you want to hold on to that because there are some parchment cards that refer to your individual discard pile. Don't shuffle them together. I'm not saying that has happened before, but it turns out that it's more advantageous not to shuffle them together. And then for further rounds, it just continues as that. So I will pick up the cards Sarah gave me and see what is left in here. And we'll draw another card for my reserve.
Oh, did I? See, that always happens.
So now I have some more interesting cards on hand. One is this card, which is a construction card that gives me the kind of the resource tile that can act as either a wood, a carrot, or a fish. I get to decide that for scoring purposes. I have a card that is actually quite nice, just not now, which is the Sky Tower, which is actually two pieces that allow you to connect two thieves together and span, bigger ranges, which is pretty great if you, instead of having one big clump of bunnies, have two different areas that need to be connected. I think just in preparation for future turns, since I don't see any A or B, any card that fits this upper quadrant that I want to go for, I will pick the 2 city card and place that totally unbeknownst to Sarah in front of me. And since I see her being at A5 and A7, I mean, the closest is E6 that can go there. But it's still far away. So I think I'm just going to deny this random resource production card and hand the cards over to her. And now we reveal. So the difference with these cards here is that instead of being played immediately, you pick up the thing that allows this to place you and just leave it in front of you until the construction phase. So you can have as many of that in front of you as you want. Which also brings us to our third turn. So one thing I think I said, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to say it again. If you play a parchment, you actually don't reveal the cards. You will just leave it face down and put it maybe under your player aid or something for the end of the game. And that's it. So continuing with my plan, I think I want to...
I want
to go for the other city over there, which is C1, and seeing that Sarah is also trying to expand there, I will try to deny her A9, which is close enough to be maybe hurtful. And then I'm passing my cards, getting cards from Sarah, and we reveal, and oh, surprise, I have a C1. So the game speeds up quite a bit. That's I think one of the nicer aspects that if everybody gets into the flow of what they're doing, you get to do stuff fairly quickly. I don't think we had to wait much time on anybody doing something. Now, without exhausting all the cards, because I think most of the cards we have here are pretty much the same thing as we're doing here. If we would be done now with the drafting phase, so if we exhausted all our cards, we would go to the construction phase. Sarah has nothing in front of her that she can construct. I have this city of 2, which I unfortunately also cannot place currently, because I don't have a bunny there that is, well, alone. So let's say if
You can put it under my bunny.
If I had a bunny on A3, I could now place my city here. The nice thing about the city in this case would be that the wood underneath it is not gone and still counts as a resource, which would allow me to get some points for that later on. But yeah, after the construction phase, you go through and see if you have any points on the board. keep that up with the little track sheet here. And then everybody gets new cards to draft from, and you continue on until, as I said, you reach the end of the game, where you will, in addition to the after the final scoring, also reveal your parchment cards and treasures, and then see who has won. It is not a terribly complicated game, and rather easy to play, surprisingly.
I'm looking for a few things for the like and dislike. Don't be distracted.
I think I put a lot of cards down here that have everything.
No, sorry.
So yeah, that's the rules of the game fairly much. The only thing I haven't mentioned is on this board you have these little lava ridges which count as a heart border between stuff. So even if you have two bunnies here, these count as two individual thieves, because they are technically not connected. However, if you manage to go around that, like so, that would still count as a thief then.
Are you done?
I'm done, yes.
I'm so proud of you.
Now I will drink tea while you will complain about certain cards.
I will not complain. All right. I'm kind of prepared.
Okay.
Likes and dislikes.
Likes and dislikes.
My nose is stuffy.
Do you want to blow the nose? No?
It's gonna be fine. So, one thing that I really like about this game are the horrible puns that come with them.
Okay, I see.
Now you see why I went through the deck. For example, we have the Honey King. Or Huni.
Mm-hmm.
As you would actually say in Germany. Then you have Pan Pan, the barbarian, who looks like Conan.
I mean, to be fair, the game box itself says, expand your thief by just a hair.
Yeah, and this one is really great. It's the treasure hunter. I mean, Indiana...
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but there's no bunny joke. I mean, banana? No. So, but I really like his facial expression with the carrot, that.
Very authentic.
Yes, so that makes you giggle. At least it made me giggle while playing, which could be to my disadvantage because then the other person knows that there is a treasure card in my hand that is, well, quite funny. And if I never giggle anymore, I either denied it or I took it for myself. But during my turn, I just really like that there is something to giggle. Because for me, and that is coming in the next sections, there was not a lot to laugh at during those games.
There's no fun in our lives, as it turns out.
Not at all. As you might remember if you watched a couple of our shows, I'm having a love-hate relationship with area control games. And this one here is no different, but it had the blow softened by the wonderful artwork, the cute cards, the colorful bunnies and such. So that really helped. However, it did not help enough for me to ask you to play the game. If you ask me, do you want to play Bunny Kingdom? I'm definitely going to say yes, but I'm not going to beg you to play this game because, well, area control, it's really difficult with that mechanism in there to be a hot game for me. But coming to the mechanics and such, I can see that this game is brutal, but very well balanced, very heavy on the luck factor, and I'm not sure if I have the Wheaton's disease.
Either it's balanced or heavy on the luck factor.
No, I mean balanced in the sense that everybody has the same chance. It's just like with a die, everybody has the same chance. A die is always balanced.
So you mean for the overall strategy.
Yeah.
Let's say
you can have a lucky draw, you can have the lucky carrots.
Okay.
That's what I mean. And I don't have that luck, so I'm at a disadvantage. However, any other player, I can see, like, from a bird's view, that this is a balanced game. I'm just the exception there. But it is a game that is very fast to play, and if you like aggressive games with 2 players, this is definitely for you. You can...
Yeah, the 2-player version is a little bit meaner.
This is so mean because you're denying, and yes, it gives you an adrenaline rush if you deny a really good card to the other player.
Me. It's only her.
Wrong. I'm proof.
I'm not the one going, yeah, not for you.
No, you say, oh, I'm not gonna give you that. You do that with you're such a kind guy saying you want to have some tea with your loss or something. Yeah, see, that's... No, there's no halo. It's black. That halo is black. But it is... I mean... If I go through all of our games that have area control in them, I would say this is one of the fastest to play.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely has a place there. And if you, well, are really good or really like area control games and want to have a fast game, well, this is definitely for you. And if you don't like it, you might at least... be in the training boot camp for strategy and such, because that actually really helped to just focus on what card am I going to deny you, what card am I going to take, so you can improve on that for other games then. Excuse me. And yeah, you can have fun with the artwork at least. So
yeah, I think we ran into this at Essen, and at first I have to say, and I guess preconceptions sometimes get the better of you. I was looking at this as, well, that's a gimmick game with someone threw some plastic bunnies that kind of look cute and are nice. The artwork is funny, but maybe I would kind of assume through that there's kind of shallow gameplay there. And then I saw, wait, why does this say Richard Garfield? That name sounds familiar somehow. It's one of those new up-and-coming designers, I guess. And to be fair, the last game I've played by Richard Garfield was Treasure Hunter, which
I really liked.
Which I really did not like, because that was too simple for me. It was also a card drafting game, and if I had to sum this up, this is Treasure Hunter, but used as an engine to power a full game of an area control game, which actually I was very, very surprised positively when we first played this as a demo, that there's so much meat in here. But I agree with you that the 2-player version is even more cutthroat in regards to you have more time to pay attention to what your opponent is doing and looking at, hey, what are they going for, and then not only kind of pushing your own plans, but trying to sabotage the plans of the other player. Whereas in a 3 or 4 player game, at least to me, that is something where I'm more focusing on my own stuff and try to figure out, okay, I can do this or that. And there's this obvious thing going towards the end of the game when you have some choices between parchments, like, okay, how can I maximize whatever I have here to do stuff? And the parchment cards, you've seen only a few. Some relate to get points for every area that has some thing on it. There's cards in there that give you points if you have if you control the corners of the game or the edges. So there's different things how you can do it. There's one that gives you points for each individual thief that you have, so you kind of don't want to have one big clump. I mean, in this game, so far every time we played, the person who won was the one who had a really good strength slash resource allotment in bigger thieves. But yeah, as I said, the artwork is pretty gorgeous. It's
the typical yellow style, which
Yes.
kind of makes you think, oh, this is maybe more a family or an easy game because it has such a cutesy factor. And then there's murder and stabbing underneath in this game.
I mean, this says ages 14 and up, and while it might seem tempting that this is also something for younger kids because of the theme, I can see that it'll be challenging to keep up with a grown-up who can do some quick math in their head and go for how can I win more efficiently by covering stuff or taking away certain things. That said, it's a surprisingly unbloody kind of game. So if I think about area control games, I probably think about Blood Rage or
Well, it has blood in the name.
or Cthulhu Wars or something that is more militaristic, even though it's fantasy militaristic in that case. Here, even though yes, they are in armor on their cards, and there's castles and stuff, but it's a kind of very family friendly theme. I'm not sure how they came up with it because that seems so odd.
Maybe because of fairy tales that you tell to small children that always have quite the bloody subtext, but they look so cute and funny and fluffy on the surface. So maybe that is exactly the approach. So this is a fairy tale game. Maybe
the thing where I have to agree with you is that this plays really fast. So the game I think says 45 minutes on the
that
box.
is for 4 players. For us too, we took less than 45, maybe 30.
Yeah.
What?
I think so.
Sorry.
Although while you said two player, there is the 2-player game has some challenges, which is
and the
probably
4-player game has as well.
which is probably entirely on us. But this variant of you have these additional cards in front of you, and you have to remember to pick one up at the beginning. You'd be surprised how often we forgot that and then ended up with, why am I only having 7 cards and you have 9 or something like that?
Yeah. Or with a 4-player game, it was, did we go odd? Is this an odd round or an even round? Do I go to the left? Do I go to the right? And then we gave the stacks to the wrong side and then all went and broke to pieces. So this is not a game that you can play while you chat about other things. Yeah. This is snappy, you are there at the table.
Or if you have difficulties with that, use something, I think...
like a hat or something, a first player marker, a round marker.
A marker that shows you in which turn order cards are given so that everybody can see that. But all in all, I was pleasantly surprised. I very much like this. So it's probably not everything, or not something I need to play every weekend, but this is one of the games. If someone
every
says,
Wednesday, then
hey, can we play this? I'd be down for it. It's fun, it's quick, but it's thinky enough to get stuff started. I like drafting as a mechanic very much.
Yeah, that's something that I really liked.
Even though I'm also not super, I'm way better with area control games than other players in our group. Let's put it this mildly. It's like everyone, almost everyone.
Thank you.
But this is a really cool, I'd say, entry-level area control game if you're looking for something.
I need to have
like plastic.
I need to have the tentacles and the monsters to be good at area control.
These are maybe tentacle bunnies. No,
I need the old ones and the cultists and such.
You need to sacrifice.
I need the sacrifice.
Don't play a bunny game with someone who likes to cook.
No, I mean, it's not a sacrifice. You head, tail, cut into the pot. This is...
There you have it, kids. It's like... There goes your
But it's
fluffy
very
bunny.
yummy with leek and cooked in cider. Just saying. But yeah, this is... it has things for me, though it is area control. But I definitely struggle with this game more than I do with other area controls.
Yeah.
But the struggle is over way quicker. So I would be down if you asked me to play. And since we're coming up on a rating, I will say in advance that I'm rating my non-love for area control games
But
into that.
you can justify your rating afterwards. I just want to say, before we go into rating, some other nice things that are kind of not really required, but are nice. There's a multiplication table coming with the reference guide. So if you're having a hard time multiplying your points, you can use that to look something up. Or if you just need to take a little bit longer, this can speed up the entire process. And since I typically say something to that, the manual is pretty good because there's not much going on also in this game, but it's
pretty straightforward.
It
right?
is. This is one of the very few games, and maybe I had some bad examples in the couple last, let's say, months. But this is one of the refreshingly few games where you just go through the manual. Oh, it's just 2-3 pages. Everything makes sense, and you can immediately play it. And then you still lose because someone's better, but that's not the manual's fault. Anyhow,
Did that ever happen to you?
no.
See?
I was just.
How can you imagine
I
other
was
people-
just extrapolating.
Oh,
I think I lost a game at BGG-Con, but then I didn't have to explain. Anyway,
all right. Rate 1, 2, 3.
yeah, I'm giving this a thumbs up. Even though I said this is not something I need to play like the super hotness, but if I am having a craving for an area control game,
I thought for a bunny.
this is very high on the list. And yes, I can live very well with playing with pink bunnies. And
Pink bunnies?
Pink bunnies, genau. The German lesson.
Why is
of the
a
day.
pun always pink? Even if when they're small.
Because maybe it's the blood that goes into your eyes or your nose.
No, there's red bunnies in there, so that wouldn't count.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's move in. Let's move into funny stories and experiences. So he came home from Spiel with this game, and I had seen on Facebook that you were testing it. I didn't see that you won it or liked it or bought it or whatever. But him coming home and telling me, you know why I bought this game? Because it's really cool and because I won.
Yes.
That was the
Turns
sentence.
out-
So I was like,
Turns out that
okay.
games are better if you're winning. That is an entirely foreign concept for all of us. But it turns out, yes, people like games more when they're winning.
I was having such a party in my head. So, come BGG-Con, I played it for the first time with 4 players. He did explain but didn't play because I played with friends. And we were...
So not me, thank you.
Sorry, I had to put it in.
No, it's fine.
I'm sorry, honey.
It's fine.
Oh, come on. So... I was definitely sober when we played because, in the later days during BGG-Con, we sometimes have a drink for the late in the evening games that we play. But I was definitely sober, and so were the other players, and we had such a hard time to have the card distribution go correctly with to the right and to the left, that we were kind of frustrated with that. Really frustrated with that. Ultra frustrated.
No, I'm just shaking my head because of the left-right thing.
Yeah, well, the one challenge that is with every game, and that is very exhausting when you play a lot of new games at a con, is it is very loud. It's noisy. So you really have to listen when you get the game explained, and maybe I just didn't get the 1 or 2 tips that you said. I don't know. But other players also had trouble to figure out, is this a good move or is it not? And we are all competitive. So, of course, even in the first test game, we don't want to be horrible. I took it on me to be horrible and come in last. No, Dana came in last. Did I come in last? We were super close, just maybe 2
I'm not
points
one of your
apart.
friends, apparently. I wasn't there.
I played with my friends, I said. I classified them as friends. Excuse me. So, I'm gonna remedy what I said in a minute. But either Dana or I lost. And we were just 1 or 2 points apart. And Emmy did really well. So, and she didn't kind of get it. She felt like she didn't do well at the game, and we were like, you're 100 points before us on the board. As you can see here, you just put your bunnies up here when you have 170 or 270, and she just overtook us, and we were sitting there like, oh, okay. So I have to play this game again when it's quiet, which we did. On a Wednesday, I played with another friend, and I got killed within 2 minutes. This was a really fast, yes. And we had the struggle again with the cards. Did I pull the cards? It makes you feel, it made me feel dumb.
I think the from the way you played, you spread yourself too thin over multiple thieves that were not scoring points much.
Yeah, I did the best with what I got. So you were really good. I don't know if there were good cards that you pulled from your reserve when you played, but you were really good at denying, because there were just the little crumbs, so I had to take them.
That was the first time we played with 2 players, and if you've played this before and you have a good idea of what someone else might be going for, that 2-player version is
mean.
Is a little bit mean, yeah.
Yeah. So
let's make a quick break for crying, and then we can continue.
I understood crime.
So crying finished, sniffling done, and now we can breathe again.
Don't breathe like a bunny. So that was the first 2-player game. The second 2-player game went a little better for me. Still not well, but it went better for me. And either I was more lucky with what I drew in my card stacks, or what I found is when it comes to denying something to somebody is if you have more than one good thing that the player could really use the next turn.
That's why it's so mean.
Yeah. So you can only deny one thing. So you always got the other great thing, because the cards were...
Technically, sometimes I denied 2 things.
By taking the one and taking the other. Sometimes I had 4 good things on my hand. It's like, okay, you're definitely gonna get something there. And
there's also the point where you just give the cards to the other player and hope that the good cards are not noticed immediately, or that they have to play something else first before going after the really good cards. Although some of the cards
you never did.
Some of the cards you can just keep stacking up on, like the cities or the resources, if you want to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I mean, when I was kind of talking about what choices I make, looking at the cards, like, okay, what is in general available in this hand of cards, and then you take a look at what cards are becoming available to you from the other player or players. With 2 players, that is kind of my limit of how much I can keep in mind, or at least what I do is I separate the game board in quadrants, and then okay, there's some here, some there, most are here, so I want to focus on this one because chances are higher to get something connected over there. But that's just how I process this kind of stuff. In a 3 or 4 player game, That's too many cards for me to keep track of. I mean, the having the reserve in front of you and drawing a new card every turn gives you a potential of 2 different cards that are coming in, because you're getting the cards from the other player, which may contain a card they just freshly drew from their reserve, and then you're picking up one of yours. So there's always new cards coming in, but you still have a pretty good idea. At least I felt that way. What's in the draft.
Because you cannot play every card in one go. You can only, get rid of 4 with 2 players in one go. So, but I got over 100 points in the last game. That was a first. So, I
practice.
was in the middle row. So, yay. But I'm...
Practice makes perfect. No.
Oh, wow. No. But you went off the board. There was no counter for you anymore in the last game.
I'm not entirely sure if we miscounted something.
No, you miscounted.
Yeah. But I had a very, very big thief with lots of towers, and I think...
And lots of resources around them.
I think what happened is that you should have gone for trying to deny me more of the towers, but I had I think almost starting with after the first round.
9 towers were up here.
It was 40 to 60 points every turn that got...
You had 300 plus points in the end, and the board only goes to 300, so... His little bunny hopped off the board and went on its way on the invisible counter. But do I have any other experiences?
I hope so, but...
No, I mean maybe... with the game, I'm... Let's move into the teaser. I don't remember any other things that are...
Okay.
In regards to the game.
So, in conclusion, I'd say it's a really nice game. If you have a fable for bunnies, this might be very much for you. If you are just looking for a neat area control game with a different theme, that this might also be something for you. But if you're looking for more complex interactions, as in something that Cthulhu Wars has, or I think even Blood Rage would be more complex, and also has the parts of the drafting in it, if you're playing with that. So that might be more to your liking. But I enjoy it for what it is, so maybe you like it too.
We'll see. Let us know in the comments below if you do. Or if you have been able to play it somewhere, I don't know, at a board game cafe, or if you own it and like it, just let us know.
Please don't use your home bunnies for enacting area control or something. It doesn't probably go over well with the neighbors if you're like, this parking place is occupied by my bunny. I put it in a castle and now it's living here. So,
beautiful mental picture.
Yeah. So... I'm now getting to guess something.
Yes.
I'm getting into my guessing position.
Is it the guest position?
No. Then it says dum, and then I have to call my joker or something like that. So please.
Oh, I was thinking, was that Mission Impossible now?
No, that's the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh,
jingle.
Oh, well. So, next Wednesday, it's time for another draw for initiative painting. It's going to be season finale, so episode number 10, where something special will happen. And...
Okay.
The game...
Is it like with fireworks and explosions and...
You will see. You will have to watch it.
Okay.
So, the game that we're gonna paint is a meta game that comes with a ton of cards and has 2,000 knives.
Cards Against Humanity. No, that's a joke answer because that is technically not a game.
No.
Well, I unfortunately know which game it is when you said.
Yeah, because I gave so great hints.
When you said metagame, I immediately knew which game it is. But now I'm trying very hard not to.
And I thought the 2000 knives were
not to show my hand of cards too early, because then the heart of the cards is not with me. When in a dual blades clash, some say 1,000, yes.
2000.
No, 1,000. It's exactly 1,000. It says so. It's 1,000.
In this day and age, it could also be a 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
See?
yeah. The correct title of this game suggests that it is in fact more like a battle royale with millennials.
Oh God.
So it's your avocado toast versus, and then they try to stab each other with avocado toast or something. That's how I understand millennials work. Because now I'm old, and the good thing about being old is you can like shake your fist and then say, "Back then in the 80s when we had weird haircuts." And it's same goes for the 70s, I guess, and the 90s. But I don't want to go off topic. I know which game it is. Maybe you also know which game it is. If not, then you gotta watch on Wednesday what's coming up.
There will be bad puns involved. I can tell you that already.
I see. Well, it's also a very not necessarily fan servicey, but it's a very referential game of what it is about. Which
yes.
Did we do a Gamer's Couch about
yes.
that one? Yeah. Then I already said a lot about this game. So.
Yes, I think we made a Gamer's Couch. I'm pretty sure we did, because it's not in the shelf of we have to have this on the couch anymore.
Then probably did not. See,
have this.
That's the other thing with getting old. You sometimes you get to experience things twice because you're forgetting them all the time.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that finished the video. Any other wise information that you want to know? Good. Don't screw up my outro. We are going to see you next week on Sunday on the couch again. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great week. Take good care. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Or leave them on the geek list on Board Game Geek. That is for this video. You can talk to us there. You can also find Draw for Initiative there. But you could also subscribe to this channel if you want to be updated on any board game related or artwork related stuff that is going come what?
Like the Swedish work.
Yeah. Work. Yeah. So if you want to do that, feel free. I would love to see you around. And if you want to give this video a thumbs up, that is highly appreciated. And now we say the wonderful word goodbye. You have to chime in. Say it. Say it now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Join.
Goodbye.
Bye.